Today we're going to be playing Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi is a leader that cannot attack, which is very difficult in the card game because we've seen a lot of non-attacking leaders that just suck. There are a few that make it really relevant, and as you know, Vegapunk is just one of the staples on the channel. With this, I think Bandai's figuring out how to do non-attacking leaders a little bit better than how they did with Iceberg and a few others, but for the most part, they're still pretty bad. Shirahoshi, though, does have some fun plays and some strong lines altogether. With the one-drop Shirahoshi, if you're going second, searching the top 5 for a Merfolk or Sea Kings type character. Hey, yo, relax, buddy. Relax. Hold up. I'm in the middle of doing the script. Well, Tizzy's going to be joining us for this script, it looks like, because he just jumped up here. So, everyone, comment, hey, Tizzy. Then you go into a forward on turn using your leader effect, which just turns one of your life face up and rests one of your Dawn, playing out a 4-cost searcher, and then you rest the other 3 Dawn, play this blocker, flip your life face down, and then search the top 3 cards for a Sea King or Shirahoshi, I believe. I don't know. The text is on the screen. You can see it there. Then we go into 6 Dawn, and we flip our life back face up, and then we play out a 6-cost 8k vanilla character. Does anybody see this? I'm trying to give you play lines here, and I have a cat that's literally trying to eat my arm. Then we play out the 5-cost blocker, which can then flip your life back face down so that we can use our leader effect again on the next turn, or you can play the 5-cost Neptune, which is a 5/7 that's draw 2, trash 1, and flips the life face down as well. So the perfect curve for Shirahoshi is actually going second. It also is good for your opponent to go first so they can attack you early, giving you cards in hand. At least you can draw early because a non-attacking leader also has 5 life. If they are a normal dual color leader, as we know in the One Piece card game, they only have 4 life. This was actually asked for from one of our friends who are a member on the channel, so if you want to become a member, you can do that down below, or during our live streams, which we'll have a full schedule coming out for next month for live streams and videos, where we're doing 4 videos a week, 1 live stream a week, and a few members only content. As always, subscribe, join the Discord down below, and let's get into the deck profile for Shirahoshi, and let's talk about more play lines we can do in the card game. We're going to start with looking at a generic list, and then I'm going to go into my list and how I personally play it and how I think this deck should function. This is just your leader, as we said, it can attack and then activate once per turn, rest one of your Dawn, and flip the top card of your life face up. Play 1 Sea King or Megalo type character that's equal to the number of Dawn on your board. So we have the Shirahoshi Searcher to look at the top 5 and rest itself, so it's a pseudo blocker as well. We have Madara, which just searches the top 5 for a Shirahoshi or Sea King. We have this 4-cost promo Shirahoshi, which is definitely not necessary, but it's a 4-cost that plays out a 5-cost or lower Sea King or Fishman Island type character card from your hand, and then activate main, you may rest this card up to one of your Sea Kings can attack characters on the turn it's played. We're planning 4 of the Smoker with Banish, 4 of the Iroko, that one, the 6/8 vanilla card, running 2 of the 6/8 Jinbei, which is rest a 5-cost character on play, and then activate main once per turn up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type characters can attack characters on the same turn they are played. Running 4 of the Tori, which is a Sea King and a 2k counter, a 6/7 body, which is really nice to spit out on the board when necessary if you don't find your Iroko. 4 of the Hody Jones, because this card is just so freaking good. 2 of the Otahime, it just flips the top card of your life face down and then draws another card. Filter, and it's a 2k counter. 2 of the Kami, which says when your opponent activates an event or a trigger, you may activate this effect if your opponent has 2 or more life cards, trash the top card of their life. 2 of the Zeus to KO characters, and yes, I think Zeus is a little stronger than Kami, but again, remember, this isn't my personal list. Charlie, it's just Charlie. A blocker, and then this is the one we were talking about that looks at the top 3 rules of a Fishman type character and add it to your hand. We have 4 of the Chan Mage, the blocker we were talking about that can then restand itself at the end of the turn. 2 of that Neptune we talked about in the beginning of the game as well. And then 4 of the very, very strong event, You're Just Not My Type. This is because of Vanderdecken, if you don't know the lore, and he's just not her type. So anyways, this is just a 4k counter for your leader for just 1 Dawn. It literally is just, if your leader Shirahoshi, get plus 4,000. That is really, really strong. Now, me personally, I'm playing things a little differently, and this is my tech choices instead. I'm probably thinking of getting rid of the Kami, but maybe this helps into the purple matchup, so I want to try it out because I haven't tested that yet. I run 4 of the Lord of the Coast. Again, I've talked about this card for a long time. I really like it. Up to one of your opponent's rested characters will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. I think that's just really freaking strong. The thing with Jewelry Bonnie, I think this really helps into the purple matchups that we were talking about are very difficult because it just means your opponent's character or Dawn do not refresh during their next turn. It's a 5/6, which we usually want to go second anyways, so we can play this on 6 and still play out more bodies with our leader effect as well. So it gives us options in the late game, early game, mid game, whatever we need, freezing Dawn or big characters, no cost restriction on either of these here. It's very, very strong. plus they act as counter because they are both 1Ks at the end of the day if we need them. Now we are running 4 of the carrot, we're running 10 2Ks and 4 of the 4-cost 4K events. We're running 4 carrots in the place of the smoker we were talking about, and we're not running Jinbei because we're running Bonnie instead of Jinbei. Jinbei is really good though, and if you run Jinbei, I do not blame you. The only issue is it just only affects itself and Hody, and obviously Hody can already do that, so it's not that strong, but it's really good affecting itself. Honestly, just playing it out, resting a 5-cost, swinging 8 into it guaranteed is really good. I'm messing with the carrot today. I want to test it out again. This is not a for sure pick, but just freezing down a 7-cost or less during when attacking or on play, that is very, very strong, especially in the format. I think just stopping your opponents from swinging really helps mitigate them destroying your board. Then if we lock them down to only their leader effect, maybe that's just really strong. I'm not against teching this out for maybe some 0-cost events and the Electrical Luna instead, playing a little Toxic into the yellow with the 0-cost event, and then Electrical Luna freezing the whole board for only 3 Dawn and just not putting a body on the board with it. I don't know. I just want to test this out today and see how it does. So let's get into some games on the sim, as we always do with these leaders as we test them out. All you have to do to get a leader in one of these games or in the deck profile is just comment it down below or let me know in the Discord a deck or a leader you would like to see or some cool fun ideas for new videos. Now, let's go straight into some games on the sim with Shirahoshi. And apparently our first match is going to be against Piss Kid. We are going to take second in this matchup, and we are going to mulligan that hand. It had a lot of nothing. This has a lot of nothing as well, so it's not looking great to start, but we'll just have to see, I guess. Putting something on the board is always going to be good, and we don't get to do that right now. So they do have a lot of burn in this deck. We're just going to have to pass the turn early there. Not too much going on for our hand. Not really too much going on at all. I ain't vibing with it, I'm not going to lie. We are really missing our key pieces here, it feels like. So we are going to have to take this just to maybe find our pieces, which Shiarli is a pretty good little piece there. We're going to go 1K counter out of this. I don't want to take 2 attacks this early. It's honestly just not worth it, but we have some strong options here. So now is where we can rest 1, play this out. We'll just freeze down the Luffy just so they can't get any ability out of it. We'll flip it back down and grab the nothing. We'll place it on the top though, because I think Hody Jones is going to be strong. I think putting down a Carrot or a Bonnie next turn definitely would not be horrible. They're on 5. Next turn we'll draw Bonnie and then stop them from going 7. So I think we're gonna go with Bonnie next, Carrot, and then Hody. I do like that you can stack it on the top there. We're gonna pass our turn and see what we can do in this next one. Next turn we can technically leader effect out the Yoroku and still play out the Bonnie, freeze one of their Dawn, and go from there. They're gonna swing 7 into us. This is a deck that's very safe to take here. I'm not scared to take, because I guess is the best way to put it. They're going to want to use Zeus, take a life, pop a character. Yep, pretty smart plays there. They're going to play down the 1-cost Scratchman of Pooh, and they're going to put on a lot of pressure here. So what we're going to do is flip our life face up. We're going to play down the Yoroku, and then we're not even worried about the Monkey D. Luffy. If they want to continue to put Dawn on it, that's okay. We're just going to go 5 for the Bonnie, freeze a Dawn so they can't play the 7-cost Trafalgar Law next turn, and pass to our opponent. So now they have 6 active Dawn instead of 7, really taking them off of curve and tempo. Next turn they will be able to play the 8-drop Kid. There's not really a way to stop that even with Bonnie, but we will be able to freeze down whatever they play here and use as a blocker. So that's the point in my opinion here. I think that's what's going to help the most. We will counter out of this attack with a 1K... This card is just gas, but we're going to get rid of one of them. We know the next card is Carrot. We know the card after that is... What is it? What's it called? Carrot. No, wait. Hody. Hody Jones. Hody Fwickin' Jones right there. They are going to swing in again. Interesting. So they're going to go 5-5-5 across the board. That's kind of annoying. That is kind of freaking annoying. Well, we are going to... This would be nice to play next turn with this. Maybe we just take 1, and then they're going to go 5 again. And then we just counter this next attack, because it can't do too much. Well, I guess we could have countered that, but we're okay. We are okay here. We can easily hit our opponent. They still haven't used their leader effect, so we can easily just flip our life face up, go into the Chon Mage. So that'll be 5-1. We'll have 2 additional Dawns, so we can go 7 and 9 into face. They've really developed the blockers. We could go 7 and 8 into face, leave 1 active, and I think that's actually going to be better. So we're going to go 7 and then 8. Leave 1 Dawn active for the 1-cost event. You're not my type. This is a tough matchup. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Our opponent's going to block. We're going to swing 8. Our opponent's going to block. We're totally okay with that. Now we're going to go Chon Mage. Then we're going to play out the Yoroku. And then we're going to Chon Mage just to flip the life back down. We're going to have 1 Dawn active here for our 1-cost event. We're sitting on the Carrot, so if they do play out like a 7-cost Law here, they're going to go 8-drop Kid, in my opinion. That's probably the best choice. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. So I don't think we're worried. We definitely want to keep our board here. We probably should have blocked, honestly. We'll go ahead and give them the carrot. I think we're going to go really just heavy into our opponent next turn. They're going to trash our life here, and we just have to stay safe. That is the biggest thing. It would be nice to get something here. Question is, I'm going to show you some cool tech with this. We're going to go, should have blocked that to open up the board a little more because we knew we were drawing into Hody Jones. So we're going to go 7 into face here. They're going to block aggressively. Question is, do we go into the board after that? I feel like we almost have to go into the board. We go 11 and then 11. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 11 into the blocker. He lets that go. Interesting. I guess we're going to go 7 to face here. And then we're going to leave 2 Dawn active. I'm okay if he counters out. I'll go 10. I guess we could have gone a little heavier. Gives us the blocker. This is really interesting. Really, really interesting. So we're going to flip our life face up, choose no targets, so that we can use the Chon Mage effects to restand the blocker and then pass our turn. That's the way we can restand our blocker every turn, even if we don't cheat out a body. They play out another 8-drop kid, and they might think they have us here, but we can now go ahead and just block out of this for free, basically. Our opponent already showed us they don't have a ton of counter. They're going to draw 1, trash 1, and it tells us position they're in. So what we can do here, we could play down this and go for the board, but I think at this point, are we really worried? Let's just go, I think we just go 11 into board, right? We have to leave the blocker active. I don't think they have a way to mess with the blocker. We have to make sure these don't kill us next turn if they split. But they could go 6, 6, 7 or something like that. I think we're just gonna go 11 into the kid, see if we can go and remove it. If they counter, then we can just go 9 and 9, or there's options for sure. All right, they just take that. So now we can see what we want to develop on the board. I would love to play a Hody Jones, but it's not necessary at this point. So we can leave the 1 Dawn still active. We can just go 6 and then 8 into our opponent here. And we're just taking away the game, it feels like. We have to ask ourselves, do we die if we play out this Tori? That is the question. I don't think we do. So I think we're just going to play out Tori and pass with 1 Dawn active. Just because we can put down another body, we should, especially in this kind of position here. Our opponent's really behind. They can put down a blocker for sure, but we can Hody Jones next turn, and then we should just have game after that. So our opponent's going to swing in for 7. I think we can just counter out. We could block in 2K, but I think we just counter out. What could they do for 8? I don't think they have much to do for 8, so I think we just block in 2K. I don't think there's a rush option. I'd rather be safe though. Well, they don't have a rush ace or anything. They don't have less life than us. Block 2K. Let's see what that does, because I'm really not sure. Because they can go 10, but if that's all they do, I think we just win. Because like I want them to know you can go 10 with Zeus easily. But I guess that puts us in a position where we have to win next turn. But with the bodies we have on the board, I think we just do. You know what I mean? I think we just do. Now they're playing for us having, so it was 6, 6, 7. Our opponent was just going 6, 6, 7 here. We resolved the attack, and now we just go for lethal. I legit think we just go for lethal here. Because we could go 7. I think we have just enough swings on the board. I think we just go all out. We just hit for 7. Do a low swing, forcing them to counter. They can't counter that. That kind of already tells us we're in a pretty good position. They draw 2, trash 1, so they're going to drop some non-counter. So we could go 9, 9, 10, 10. Which I'm definitely not against, because we could go Hody Jones, but mathematically it's just less. So we're using 7 Hold On here. Play out a beige. Watch this. Rest it down. Now it should just be guaranteed lethal, because they lost a card in hand and they lost the trigger. So we should be good here. They could maybe get out of an 8. Looks like no, and we're good to go. That was actually really scary there. That was actually really close. Hey, GG's to our opponent there. We took down Kid. I bet you're kind of surprised, because I'm kind of surprised. But I think that shows you the strength of this deck if you play it correctly, especially into a deck that doesn't have removal. Kid, they're not a removal-based deck, and we took them off curve with the Bonnie, and I think it really showed you the strength of that Bonnie. They removed all of our life, but we just blockered up. We stayed safe, and we played correctly. This Chon Mage being so strong, and I think we were safe here because they had to go 6-6. That was really good with the Beige, but we just held enough Dawn perfectly with the Hody Jones, and we won. GG's, on to the next. And to be fair, I think we would have won without Hody Jones, but I'm just saying. Purple Katakuri. Now this is going to be a very tough matchup for us because we're going to go on our curve and say, screw your curve. We're not worried about it. We don't have the 4-3 play here, but I think we could keep. We have a Searcher. Forces the attack into the Searcher, though. We don't get our life. I think I'm going to be greedy. I don't mind being greedy anymore. I don't mind being greedy at all. We're going to rest this, look at the top 5, and grab a Sea King or Fishman Island. So that would not be Hody, that would be Tori, that would be Chon Mage. We don't have anything for 5 just yet, so I think we're going to grab Chon Mage here. Only have the Zeus for a 2K pop in a character, but we're going to save this for the Parasparrow, and we will be using Zeus as soon as possible. So what we can do is tap 1 Dawn for Chon Mage, play out Chon Mage because of our leader effect, and then go from there. Then play Zeus, and then still play Charlie as well. So pretty freaking good curve right there, I would say, in my personal opinion. They should be playing 3-drop Pudding here if they have it. If not, they're going to be playing some Searchers out from hand, or possibly there's something I just don't know about. Maybe there's something I should know about. I think Megalo would be a good option in our deck too, but we just don't play it. We play Charlie instead. I like Charlie because it searches the top 3 for up to 1 Fishman Island type card. Only issue is we don't run a bunch of Fishman Island type cards. Do we run any? I should have looked. You can search itself, but we have 3 of them in hand, so I doubt we're going to be doing that. Oh, opponent. What shall you be doing? 2-drop Katakuri, swing in for 6. At us. I like it. Give me that card. Hi, Tizzy. We do see you. Well, what we can do here is rest 1 Dawn, look at the top 5. I mean, we might as well get value while we can. We're going to grab Madara. Hi, buddy. We're going to grab Madara, add Madara to hand. We're going to go... We could just rest down a Dawn and play out Madara then. We could do that next turn as well into Chon Mage. Chon Mage and Madara next turn. So I think we just go Charlie and pass. Just put down the blocker. We can go Madara next turn. I think that's the best way to do it. If there's a different line that you saw there, let me know. We can also go Carrot next turn and Madara. We can go Carrot Chon Mage next turn. We can go Carrot Lord of the Coast. We can go Chon Mage, Chon Mage. We can do so much. You have hair in your fur, buddy. I'm sorry it hurt. I got the Parasparrow, so we know we're going Zeus. We know we're going Zeus. That's what we know. They're going to swing at us again. Hey, stop. All right, we're going to go in 2K. We're going to pop this, but we're going to use the Zeus and take life. So I think we are going to counter out of this attack. Just to be safe. Better to be safe than sorry. Better to be safe than sorry here. So we're going to use 2 Dawn for Zeus. Then that leaves us 4 Dawn. We can use our leader effect to play out Chon Mage. And then tap 3 for Charlie. We're not using Shirahoshi then, but we still have Shirahoshi later for more value, which I guess is a good option. So we know we're going to Zeus. We won't be able to Carrot, but there's nothing to freeze down anyways. That wouldn't be until next turn, so that's okay. They reveal a Katakuri, so we know they do have an 8-drop Katakuri, but that doesn't affect us till we're at 8 Dawn with this Katakuri, so I'm just toughing it out until it happens. But then we just spam the Lord of the Coast after that. So we know we're going to Zeus. That's going to be 2 Dawn. We have 1 Dawn for our leader effect, and then 3 Dawn for Charlie. Or we could go double Shirahoshi, which actually sounds really gas. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the card action, take the bottom life, which is Hody Jones, pop the Parasparrow. We're going to leader effect into Chon Mage. Now we're going to rest 1 Dawn, search the top 5, and grab a Roku. Now we're going to do it again, rest down, and we're going to grab a Tori for a 2K counter. And then I think we're going to Chon Mage just to flip the life face down and pass. So now we have, they're on a 7. Are they going into 9 Dawn? I think they should be going into 9 Dawn here. They're going to play an 8-drop Katakuri. We can use our swings and then Lord of the Coast it, freeze it down. We fast up on a couple Lord of the Coast. Carrot's unnecessary at this point. I just think Lord of the Coast is just that good. Stopping the blocker. I think we've put ourselves in a pretty good position. Have we put any pressure onto our opponent? No. But we have 2 searchers on the board. We've gotten so much value in a large hand size. Now we can start replacing those searchers because they're not that necessary. Now, Oven, activate main declare cost, reveal 1. If the revealed cost is the same as declared, KO one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 3 or less. So I guess we go ahead and block out with Charlie just to save it at that point because he's going to pop the Charlie anyways. Now it's going to force him to pop the Shirahoshi and swing into the other Shirahoshi to stop giving us value out of them. And if they don't swing heavy enough, we're just going to block with the Chon Mage. So I think we put ourselves in a pretty good position there too. Does this rest this character? Yeah, it does. When the Dawn is returned from your Dawn deck up to one of your Big Mom Pirates type character game +2 cost till the end of your opponent's next turn. That's fine. 7 at us? 8 at us? Interesting. I think we just take here, add another card to our hand. They don't really have any ways to affect our hand size. They are going to use this effect to pop a 3 cost or less, which they should pop a Shirahoshi, as they should call the life correctly as they just looked at it. They pop the Charlie. Interesting enough. We can just freeze this down. We're going to go ahead and pop the... Let's math this out first. So 5 for Carrot, 1 for leader effect, 2 Dawn to search. I think I love that. I think I legitimately love that. So we're going to swing 6 into Katakuri here. Try to go ahead and remove it off the board. If we get 2 cards out of hand, we know they have 1 brick. This should get rid of it, especially because they put bodies on the board. We're going to go ahead and Carrot the Oven. We're going to search first because now we're going to grab another... I think we're going to grab another Lord of the Coast here. And then we're going to search again and grab... Kami wouldn't be bad for a 2K counter, which is maybe why it's in here to search for with the Charlie. I think we're gonna grab the 4K counter for late game. Now we're going to leader effect. We can put out, I think we just put down the biggest body we can. Just replace that and then use this effect to restand the Chon Mage and pass. So now we froze their character. They're going into 10 Dawn now, but we have Lord of the Coast in case they play 10 Lin. We got 2 of them. We know one's at the bottom of our deck. We have tons of counter. I think they just didn't get rid of Shirahoshi early enough. Now it's like, you need to get rid of these for sure. And I can block and save them pretty aggressively if I need to, or I can just let them go at this point. 2, I could block, but then it opens me up a lot. I think we just let it go at this point. Let 1 go and just see what happens. We're going to block for free, and then they go for our blocker. I like to keep this Chon Mage if we can, because that card is just that freaking good. It is just that good. Now, this is really playing to the late game, but we have 10 cards in hand. Again, if we were going into blue, you should not be doing this. This should not be the setup here. They're going to swing 7 at us. We're going to block in 2K if that's the way they choose to go. This is a deck you can feel safe going to 0 life. 2-cost Katakuri into 8-drop Katakuri, which we know is in their hand. Pretty good there. Our opponent did play it correctly as well, so that's really good. Now they have 6 additional Dawn. If they swing all in, we're just going to let them have our life again. Not too worried about it. It's kind of annoying. Not that annoying, though. It's weird not having a leader attack, because you guys know I'm so used to having those with Vegapunk. That's a joke. For the people who don't understand, that is a joke. A little jokey joke. What we can do also is Hody Jones the Katakuris at the end and then freeze them down with the Lord of the Coast if necessary. Now, they are going to swing all out at us. We have a bunch of blockers, but clearing up the board isn't horrible. I just love Chon Mage that much we're going to take. We have found all of our Charlies this game because we have 1 in the trash, 3 in the hand. And we have a cat that's going to knock over all the cards on the floor. Nice. Oven is restood now, so we won't be able to freeze down the oven, which does suck. So we could go Hody, but then we have no life, so then we can't Chon Mage anymore. Let's just search first, because we know we're going to search. So that's 2 Dawn we're going to leave active now, because we have tons of counter. So we're going to leave these 2 over here. We're going to leave the rest up. That could be 5, 6, 7. So we can go 3, 2, and that gives us 2 additional Dawn. So we can go, let's just start with a little 7 poke at face, freeze down the Randolph. The Randolph doesn't do anything, but we can keep them down if we want to. They should just take here. Taking would not be a bad option at all. But I want to try to get a free block out of them. I really want to get a free block out of them. If they give us the Katakuri, they're going to Dawn -1 and give us a 2K counter. We may say screw it and Hody Jones, I'm not going to lie. We may just say screw it and Hody Jones. At this point, if you want to get out of this bad, I can just take the board. We have the counter in hand. Only issue is we only have 1 Hody Jones here. So once we Hody Jones, we're just out after that. We won't have another one, so it's not that good. We're just going to swing 6 at our opponent, see what our opponent decides to do. They should just take this one. I don't think we're going to worry about these characters right now. I think we have enough counter. I think we're just stressing it for no reason. I really want to see them block. Obviously, more than likely, we're not going to get that. So we know 1 for the Chon Mage effect for the leader. They counter out of this as well? What? Why would I not just Hody Jones, go for the Katakuri? I'm so confused. And then I just clear out the oven, and then I just leave a Dawn active, or I play another Chon Mage? I really think I just play another Chon Mage instead of going for against a 15. Oh, there's no life to play to flip down, so you think we just pass them. And we have the 4K counter. We have tons of counter. So for me, I'm go all out. You have 2 of the Shirahoshi events. You're not developing bodies at that point. We have a huge freaking hand size. I think at this point, we just take the game away. You can go 10 Lin. That's fine. Interesting. Don't think that would be my personal choice, but I understand where you're coming from. And then what do you swing into? You should get rid of Shirahoshi. I'm going to be honest, at this point, I guess this forces card's out. I'm not going to say this is the perfect opponent because they're newer to the game, it seems like, but I think we're in a very good spot here. Very, very good spot altogether. We know we are going to leader effect. Oh, we don't have a life to flip up. We're going to need 4, 5. So what we can do is look at the top 5 and grab. Can we grab Hody? I guess we're just going to grab the event at this point because we're safe as crap. I don't mind Lord of the Coast. Need to be plus 2,000. Let's see if we can force out the Lin effect, because we can just pop the Lin if we want to. It's not like we're in any rush. Because we could go Lord of the Coast and freeze it, or we could just get rid of it, because we have a full board. I don't need to play cards. I'm going to see if they choose to do the Lin effect or not. They do choose to do the Lin effect. So they reveal it's a 1 cost, you're not my type. They become a 7K leader, which is totally okay with us. I don't need to own a leader. They called the cost wrong. Alright, seems like we are going to be playing that out. So that's 4 and 2, so we have 3 Dawn, so we might as well go 9 and 9. Might as well. Might as well. So they should have leader affected first, then Lin affected. So now they're just behind on Dawn. This is basically just wraps at this point, guys. You can just go on to the next game. We are cooking. We're going to go ahead and tap 4 here, freeze down the Lin, and just pass. I don't think there's anything else for us to do here. Legitimately, I think we just sit here. We know what our next card is. We know their whole board's frozen. We can freeze it again with Lord of the Coast and just do it all over again. We have a blocker. Next turn we could go blocker, Lure of the Coast, and we're safe. They only have 6 Dawn. You could play it on Parasparrow maybe, possibly. But hey, I think that's just gonna be wraps at that point. Ain't no way. GG's, we're on to the next game. That was a fun one. I felt like we just dominated that Katakuri. Again, I don't think they were playing it perfectly. Not removing those Shirahoshis early really put them behind, but I think we played really well nonetheless, and let's go on to that next game with Shirahoshi. We need all the help we can get, so we'll take it. So I haven't found a blue-purple Luffy match, but a blue-yellow Nami is not too bad. We're going to take second away from this blue-yellow Nami. We're going to mulligan that hand every single time, and I guess you get what you get. It's not what we liked again, but we'll get it. We could flip the life face down, go ahead and play this, draw an extra card. I'm not against it. We're going to do that, and then play out the Otahime, use the card action just to draw another card, and pass to our opponent just to filter through, because now at least we have the Madara. I did not want to play Lord of the Coast, but it gets us a little deeper in the deck. No, we don't have any 2Ks, but not too worried about countering out just yet. We have about 2 whole turns before we do that, just because we don't have anything to even attack with. So our opponent's going to swing the big 7. I like to call the big 8, but big 7 there. They get to draw a card, and we're okay with that. So we're going to do our thing here. We're going to flip the top life face up to play out the Madara. We're going to look at the top 5 cards and grab a 6 cost to play out on the next turn, because we can go Bonnie 6 cost, which is pretty freaking strong. Lord of the Ghost is always good. Another Madara is nice, but I think we just go with the 6 cost, because the 6-8 is going to be very, very good. Now we're going to play down the Shiarli, flip it down, and then grab a Fishman Island Kami, and then Chan Mage is pretty good for that next turn as well, possibly. So I think we're going to grab the Chan Mage. We'll have the carrot for the next turn in case there's more stuff we want to freeze down, and pass to our opponent. I think we're putting on a lot of pressure. We got blockers on the board. Filtering through was very, very nice. Actually really helped us in that situation. So Otahime, kind of goated. Never really thought about doing something like that, because you can just flip the life face up and just do nothing at all with it. Like, you ain't gotta do anything. Like, you can, but you don't have to. You don't have to. We can also trash our opponent's life. So if they play down like 2-cost Hiyori here, ugh, I hate that card so much. We're gonna take. Bro, we barely had any cards in hand. Why do they have to be a dick? Why do they have to be a dick over here? They're going into 7 Dawn. Is there anything they can even freaking do for 7 Dawn? We're going to go and swing in for 5 just to apply a little pressure here. We could have swung in for 6, I guess, but they're going to leader effect either way, so don't really matter, no. But it don't matter, no. We're going to tap 5. We're going to freeze down a Dawn here. We're going to use the leader effect and play down a... I think we're going to go with a Madara here. Look at the top 5 and grab a... I love Chan Mage, man. I do love this card just that much. Stronger than a 6-8 vanilla. Really helps in this matchup, I feel like. We're going to go with the 6-8 vanilla. We have 6 cards in hand, so put us on 6 Dawn. They can go 6 cost Lin, but they can't have any Dawn on their leader then, which totally stops their leader effect, so they have to do something for 5 Dawn. It basically just feels like they're going to split between the leader and the pudding. That's what I'm assuming here. If they had 7, maybe they could play a 6 cost Lin and then force us to discard 2 cards or take a life. Not anymore. Not anymore. We filled out the board very nice here. We're going to go ahead and counter out of this with a Shiarli, and then see what our opponent has to swing at us after that. They're going to swing 6. We're going to counter out of this with a Tori, and then see what our opponent has to do after this. They're going to play down the Cavendish, which is very, very annoying. So we're going to say no Cavendish for you, because I don't want our opponent drawing cards. So we're going to go and use the card action, take the top life, pop the character. Now we can tap 5 here, so we can go 5 into our opponent. I really just want to get a big body out on the board. So they're going to go and use their leader effect here. Of course, we're just using it to bait out the leader effect. We're going to go 6 in a pudding. They should just let it go at that point. And then we're going to leader effect to play out this guy, and then tap 5 to play out Neptune, draw, trash 1 of the Lord of the Coast, and pass to our opponent. So now we have an 8K, a 7K, and they could just play out Gravity Blade and ruin our whole day. So if they do that, we're going to cry, give up on the game, and be a little sad. Now, this is a very hard matchup as well. It's another one of those, man, this is not easy. I think we're just going to give them a blocker here. We could give them cards in hand, but I don't think we need to at this point. They're going to tap out for 7, probably going into a 7-cost Lin. A Red Rock. Okay, Red Rock's pretty good. Not going to lie, I was not expecting a Red Rock. We're going to 7. That leaves us 7. So this is 1, 4, 1. That's 5. So we can go 7, 7, 8. 7 at our opponent. I think that's the best line, because there's nothing to do with Lord of the Coast. We could play it on Madara and the Oroku, though. Should have swung out with the little bodies, I guess, first, just in case. That ain't bad, but it ain't good either. 7 more at you. 7 more. They should take this. They should take this. Red rock trigger. Nice. 7 more at you. It's very annoying. Go ahead and block. We're going to play out the Oroku. Tap 4 for Madara. Look at the top 5. We're going to go ahead and grab... You're not my Tori. We could have grabbed the Shirahoshi, I guess, and dug a little deeper, but I want to leave Dawn active just in case they go into the board. And we're going to make sure there's nothing to flip our life down. Okay, we're just going to pass. Boom. 2 bodies on the board. 10 total Dawn. Could go 8-drop Kid, burn the life, which would suck because Chan Mage is just that freaking good, man. Oh, you know me and Chan Mage, I love this card. We have Lord of the Coast freeze down their Kid. If they do choose to play down 8-drop Kid, they will get to draw a card for their leader effect. And then they'll be able to swing in for, what, 6 and 6 or 6 and 7, depending on what they got. And then we're basically just forced to go for lethal. And that's really hard to do with the board that we have. That is really hard to do with the board that we have. But if we can get this Chan Mage into our hand, I'd be very happy. Well, I have to trash 2 cards from my hand. Because if I give them a life, they get to draw a card. So if we're going for lethal next turn, we need to leave the board up. Because they could go 9 and 5. They could go 7-7, which we can get out of both of those still. So we're going to go ahead and counter. I think we're just going to go for lethal in this next turn. I think we have to just go for lethal, sadly. We could freeze down the character, so if it comes down to it, we have options for sure. So we could just start with a little 7 poke at our opponent and see what they choose to do. They should leader effect and get out of it, and then give us 1 more K counter. So would that be guaranteed lethal? That would be 9, 11, 9. So it'd have to be 9, 9. I think it's the best bet just to poke for 8. See if they have another 2K. They did have another 2K here. So we know we're going to freeze this down. And do we even swing then if we're going to freeze down the Satori? You might as well, right? The issue is 8-drop Kid. So I think we swing once. Because if not, they just clear our board and don't lose. So I think we swing once. Guaranteed hit. If we had just some kind of rush option. Alright, what you got? They have 2 attacks. They need to burn a life. If they can burn a life, we just lose. We didn't want to give them all the options in case this one last card was an 8-drop Kid. This guarantees, though, we still can go for lethal in the next turn and win. Was that the life? I literally had mentioned. Man, that sucks. That sucks. That legit just sucks. Well, hey, we fought to our best. We controlled the board. We did our things. I think we played that perfectly. Maybe hitting them was the wrong issue. They still had rush, so I think with rush they don't lose as well. So either way, I think we were kind of chalked there because we didn't have any cards in hand. The rush would have got them there. It is what it is. GG's to our opponent. That was a really fun game altogether. Nami is a hard matchup for this deck, but Shirahoshi is just a hard leader to play in general. I think we played it to our best of our ability. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped you, and I hope you enjoy the channel. If you do, like, subscribe, join the One Piece family by joining the Discord down below, and I just appreciate all the subscriptions. We're up to 1,700 subs. We're almost to 2K. I would really like to hit 5K by the end of the year. So if you want to help me meet that milestone and help me get paid a little bit from the YouTubes and join one of the live streams or hang out or do anything like that, do so. Please subscribe. You're really just helping me out, like, so much. Bye.